Beautiful morning. It is a Thursday, and of course, it's the 28th day in the month of November 2024. We bid you welcome to Sports Republic right here on Voice of the People Television. And of course, my name is David E. Today, I'm not, I'm not alone. But before I bring him in, I would also want to encourage you to like, subscribe if you haven't to our page on YouTube. We are at Voice of the People TV, and on all other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. It's an amazing Thursday morning with so much to serve you, of course, from the home front and, of course, to the foreign front. And I'm talking about the UEFA Champions League, the Europa League, and, of course, the Conference League that will be, going on today. So much to serve you. And I can tell you for free that we have so much to serve you today, and would only urge you to be and stay with us. Well, before we go on all of this, I'm going to take a very short break, and when we return, we'll be giving you the full gist of all that you need to know. The Super Eagles might have a new coach in a couple of days from now, and most importantly, the NFF have made a major demand on the new coach. All of these and more you will get to know after this very short break when we return. Stay with us.
Catch up with the latest topics making the buzz, the stories that tick, the trends. Let's let you in on why they are trending. From politics, entertainment, business, lifestyle, and more. Analyzing the trending stories with top eyeballs. Hashtag on Voice of the People Television, giving you an insight to everything and everyone Nigeria is talking about. Showing on VOP TV, 10 p.m. Monday to Friday. Hashtag, if it's trending, we bring it on.
All right, welcome back. Well, of course, I said that break was going to be short, but of course, we needed to make sure that we get back to you and, of course, get it right. It is Sports Republic right here on Voice of the People Television. And like I said earlier, I'm not going to be doing this alone. And yes, don't forget, I'm standing in for the amazing Kizzy K, who is, again, unavoidably absent today. And I tell you for a fact, he really is cooking up a whole lot. But you will definitely find out all that he's cooking when he comes up on air to continue with the show. Well, today I'm not alone, and I'm with the most amazing Ike Chuku. A very good morning to you, Ike.
Good morning to you, David, and good morning to our viewers this Thursday morning.
Oh, well, the fact that he did that Thursday morning, I knew where he was coming from. So before we came up on air, he said it's the month end. And he started aligning some of the things and where, the monies will be going into at the month end. You know how men can be. They can be very calculative. Yeah, very calculative. But that's not what we're here for. Let's talk sports. Yeah. Interestingly, the new demand, the NFF is demanding something crucial from the to-be coach, the to-be foreign coach of Nigeria. The new incoming head coach of the Nigerian Super Eagles will be tasked with a crucial and critical mission to revive the team's World Cup qualifying campaign. With the stakes higher than ever, several key strategies are essential for revitalizing the squad's performance on the international stage. Now, according to top sources at the Glass House, first, a comprehensive analysis of the team's recent shortcomings is necessary to identify and address tactical errors. Building a cohesive playing style that maximizes the strength of the existing talent is also vital. And additionally, fostering a strong team spirit and instilling belief within the players can enhance their overall confidence. Moreover, nurturing emerging talents and ensuring a seamless blend of experience and youth in the squad will be crucial for long-term success. Now, as the new coach embarks on the journey, the road ahead will demand decisive leadership and innovative thinking to steer the Super Eagles back on track towards World Cup aspiration. Now, this demand from the NFF, do you think this is a tall order or something that is very normal for an FA of a country like Nigeria to be demanding from whoever they finally would pick as the man at the hands of affairs manning the Super Eagles?
Nigeria.
Your response.
Kai. Okay, see, let me explain this using a simple economic term.
Yeah.
What you just said, in a very simple economic term. You want to be the largest producer of rice in the world. Mm-hmm. You want to be the largest exporter, let me use that word. You want to be the largest exporter of rice in the world. Yeah. You want to be the largest exporter of rice, yam in the world. Mm-hmm. Any kind of food, you want to be the largest exporter in the world.
Yeah.
Right. You had the best business-minded people to actually marshal that. Mm-hmm. You know, you bought a very new vessel to actually convey, shipments anytime you have your stock. But you failed to deal with insecurity that will bring this food from the farm. That's what you just said. Now, I'll tell you again. See, you are bringing a project. This is a project. You are telling the coach to give you this. Where are the players coming from that you're going to nurture?
Wait, are you saying we don't have players?
We don't have a project that will bring players on board.
Okay.
So, see, let me give you an example. Morocco started a project in 2009.
Yeah.
It's called the Mohammed V project. And that project they started in 2009. It got them to the World Cup semi-final as the first African team in the last World Cup, 2022.
Right.
France started Clairefontaine in 1988. It took them 10 years to win their first World Cup. Okay. England started the English project in 2012. It took them, in less than 5 years, they've won the Under-20 and Under-17 World Cup. Their male national team got to back-to-back Europa final. They lost to Italy and Spain.
Yeah.
The female team also is one of the strongest in the world. They lost the final. Mm-hmm. Now, it tells you what a project is. And every single time you see when new talent comes, they play a certain way. Now, it's left for the coach, whoever the coach is that comes on board, it's left for the coach to now follow these rules that they've given to him to actually bring the best out of it as a team now. Okay. Now, the project, where this talent will be coming from, that's where, in Clairefontaine, that's where they had the likes of Thierry Henry, the golden boy of France today, Kylian Mbappe, William Gallas, we can go on and on and on and on. Nicolas Anelka, so many of them graduated from Clairefontaine. Okay. So if you tell me the coach has to play a certain way, the coach has to do this, the coach has to do that, where are the players coming from?
You know, that's a major question that a lot of persons have been asking. And one thing that strikes me in all of this demand by the NFF is the fact that if you say you want the coach to build you a style of play, a cohesive playing style.
Exactly.
Is the coach going to be building this style on the present players?
Good. Let me ask you another.
Or would he produce some set of players that we're yet to see in the face of football?
Now you understand. Look at the way Barcelona is playing. Any coach that comes into the Barcelona setup, however the coach philosophy is, now Hansi Flick is playing high line. That's not the way Barcelona play. but the tiki-taka is still very much there. You see it. It may not be as pronounced as what Pep did, but you still see the tiki-taka. You know why?
Yeah.
These boys are La Masia boys. You bring a boy from La Masia at 17, he comes into the midfield of Barcelona and he plays like Barcelona. You see, when you watch Casado today, you see a Sadio Busquets in him, you see a Xavi in him. When you watch Fermin Lopez, you see an Iniesta. See, they might not have the talent like those ones, but you see that gleam of, this is how long it should take for you to think. This is how long it should take for you to pass the ball. This is exactly what the project is, and that's why they have arguably the best academy in Europe.
So in other words, Nigeria does not seem
We
to
don't have a breeding ground for these things. Do you know why it was easy for West Ham? We really do not have top players in Europe when it came. So it was easy to actually see the likes of Amunike in Zamalek before he moved, this one in this. We started seeing our players at the grassroots level.
Yeah.
He picked many of them, and then many of them started going to Europe. So if a Clemens West Ham had come in now, the only way he could have done something. That was why what's it called? The Bukola Saraki project. The what's it called? Football excellence in Kwara State.
Yeah.
That was why it's. Anytime I remember that project, I feel very sad. Because that project would have been our own version of Clemfontaine or whichever project we see ongoing in Europe, and that is doing very fine. The funny thing is, that project came years before, Clemfontaine came before it, but this English project and this Mohammed V project all came after it.
After it, yeah.
So just imagine we've followed through that process, followed through that project. By now, at least, maybe we would have won the World Cup.
Now, the question would now be the Bukola Saraki project that you did mention. It doesn't strike so pronounced because apparently it looked more like the NFF didn't even key into it, which is one of the reasons why we keep having age grade competition trouble. Because, the last under-20 Nations Cup, Nigeria was just nowhere to be found. Now, as it stands, the tall order is being given by the NFF. Is there any way that the new manager that might come in can redeem the situation?
He's just going to do little, just little. Just little.
A little with the project, with the ones he have already.
Yes, of course, just little. See, we have to emphasize on where these players will be coming from. The breeding ground for this talent, we really have to emphasize on it. See, a player...
And our league isn't anywhere close to it.
See, project like that feeds the league.
Okay.
Project like that feeds the league. Then the league feeds the national team. That's how it works. Project like that feeds the league. And the league feeds the national team. So if you want to instill a certain philosophy, just imagine, a 20-year-old man and let's say 30-year-old, 25 years old man and a 6-year-old. You take the both of them outside the country. Who will pick the language of the new country first or faster? The child, because the child is going through the process of learning, and of course at that level they'll show the child everything. But you as an adult at that time, so many things will be on your head. You're not going to really concentrate. See, the coach will just do very little.
Yeah.
And like they say, any river will forget where in the flow come from. It go dry. So it's just a matter of time. So you just have, if a good coach comes, you say, oh, this guy is good. But when he leaves, nothing.
All right, let's look at the project at hand and the managers that most likely would be picked. Two names consistently have been coming, even as said yesterday night. These two names were still right in front of us. And we're looking at Antonio Conceição and, of course, Jonathan Hills, the former Manchester United youth team coach. These are guys that, I'm going to just stay with Jonathan Hills. He's had quite a number of young stars during his days. The likes of Lindegaard, the likes of Rashford. The names are, I think I'm trying to pick the names here now. There was a bit of Cleverley in that mix that he did manage when he was at the youth team. Unarguably, he knows how to deal with youngsters and, of course, poach them up for the bigger picture. If such a person is employed, do you think he would have a trouble, so to say, to bringing out talents that might get to that stage the big stage of African football.
You're saying if we give him the opportunity to manage a project,
Yes.
not as a national team coach.
As a national team coach.
It's two different ball game. His role in United was to bring out, to promote young stars.
Yes.
Right. Now here, because there's a facility where he works, see, let me tell you, United has one of the best academy in Europe, one of the best in England too. I mean, if you remember the class of '92, the likes of David Beckham, Ryan Giggs, these guys won the Champions League for United in 99, 2000. 98, 99. These guys actually came through a process, so they understand what it means to come through a process.
True.
This coach also understands what it means to actually groom players. But the Super Eagles is not a ground where you groom players. The national team of every country is not a ground where you groom players. They are adults. They're supposed to follow a trend.
And of course, a project that would link them to.
Exactly. Just like telling me that, we have so many crude oil in this country.
Which of course we have.
Yes, it's just like saying because you are the manager of a particular oil well, and then all you've got to deal with is the raw crude, right? Automatically, I should expect you to be able to manage a PMS sector when it's already refined.
Okay.
It's two different ball games.
Now, again, right? This Jonathan Hills also had his thing as an assistant with former Manchester United assistant in Fulham, talking about Rennie Molestein. He was the assistant when he was the coach at Fulham. You think in any way, aside the fact that, just like you mentioned, he has that prowess of becoming a groomer of talent, do you think the Super Eagles might be a fit for him as comparing to his other man who, of course, knows African football inside out? I'm talking about Antonio Conceição.
Let's take away that word, groom. You don't groom at the national team level. You can't groom at that level. You can't. What are they wash and they drink?
That's a very no.
You understand? So
that's a very direct way to answer.
You can't groom at that level. So let's stick to him being a manager. Can he be a good manager?
But do you know, aside, okay, I don't want to use the word groom. We test run players at the national level. Is that
where are they coming from? That's the question. That's why I cited all of this academy and this project across the world. There's a project. They come in, they play a certain way. You see it. Something is up. Something is working.
Okay. Now, looking at okay, just in case you're just tuning in, this Sports Republic, and we're trying to x-trace some of the demands by NFF to the incoming foreign coach. And of course, one of those demands is get us a playing style, get us the World Cup, give a comprehensive analysis of the team, and of course, the recent shortcomings, so much tactical errors and all. These are the demand of the NFF on the new foreign coach that they might, of course, employ in a couple of days from now. And of course, the two coaches we're looking at and extracting is Antonio Conceição, the Belgian, and of course, Jonathan Hills, that, of course, their names have been popping up. Now, another interesting part of this conversation is Iguavon would be working with anybody that they employ. As it stands, do you think that would be another plus?
There's no plus.
I mean, Finidi George came from the Pizarro era.
Okay, a plus for him as a coach, maybe. Okay. But there's no short term, the job of a coach, the objective of a coach is usually short term.
Yes.
The objective of a team is usually long term. What is the objective of the Super Eagles? What is the objective of Nigeria as regards the Super Eagles? What's the objective of Nigeria as regards our national team? I mean, there's a reason why FIFA created age-grade levels competition to feed the national team. Right. Because they understand that it's difficult to actually go here, pick this one, go here, pick this one, go. So FIFA created that channel so that you guys can now create a system that will bring out this under 17, that will graduate into under 20, and then under 23, and then the main team.
And we've been seeing that work.
So many countries have been getting it so right.
Yes.
So now, do we have a breeding ground that brings this talent? Because when you talk about projects, everything I see here is a long-term project they are giving a coach, and the job of a coach is usually a short-term project. Give us a trophy, qualify us. That's the job of a coach.
Okay. So the NFF, as always, is getting it right with all of this demand. Is that what you're saying?
They're getting it wrong. Very wrong.
Okay.
Yes, these demands are very wrong. See, I'll give you another example. When Manchester City started their project, started bringing players, bringing top coaches, it was until they brought in a certain Tiki Begeristen who was at the helm of affairs for Barcelona at the point,
right,
to Manchester City. And then Tiki Begeristen was able to convince Pep Guardiola to join. Now, if you watch Manchester City before Pep Guardiola era, you'll notice that, yes, they can actually play, but they are not dominant. You don't see that style, that cohesion, that fluidity. It's not really there.
They were that physical at the time, though.
But now you see them, every team that wants to play Man City will be afraid because they will outplay you anywhere. That's what they've been able to do. And over the years, we've seen good players come out from the academy because Tiki Begeristen actually helped them tweak their academy. Now the likes of Foden, McT, this Kopama, the golden boy of Chelsea today.
Yeah.
We can go on and on. Many top players from the academy are graduating. Oscar Bob, that is what a project looks like. It's not a job of Pep Guardiola to say, okay, I'm the coach now, this is how I want the academy to... As a coach, you cannot run that sort of project. It's not for you.
Unfortunately, we would be having this conversation even as this show goes on. Well, you've been watching, and of course, you're still watching Sports Republic. And this morning, we are practically looking at the demands of the NFF on the new incoming foreign coach, who most likely might be the Belgian Antonio Conceição, former Cameroonian national team coach, or former youth coach of Manchester United, Jonathan Hills. Interestingly, any of these guys, according to Ikechukwu, might just fit in the job. But of course, this demand by the NFF might be a major tall order, which of course is another conversation that we're having here. Let's move away from that and let's talk all the stories where hat-trick hero challenges Leverkusen coach Xavi Alonso over Boniface starts. Now, Bayern Leverkusen's standout performer, Patrick Schick, following a dazzling hat-trick, has issued a bold challenge to head coach Xavi Alonso. The player has made it clear that he desires a more prominent role within the team, urging Alonso to consider him ahead of fellow striker Victor Boniface. Now, this recent, of course, match showcased the player's extraordinary talent and critical contribution to the squad's success. The call for prioritization reflects both ambition and, of course, competitive nature of football as players seek to maximize their potential on the field. Ike, do you think this call from Snake might just be considered by Xavi Alonso?
I mean, it's a good one for Victor Boniface. I mean, at this point, he should look at himself and ask himself, okay, if I'm actually giving an 8, this is time to give a 10. It's part of what makes a team healthy. Competition. Yes. You come in and then you struggle for that jersey, just like the Super Eagles back in the days. Enyimba, Ejide, Dele-Bashiru, everybody keeps putting each other on their toes. So if you don't have somebody putting you on your toes, then of course there's going to be a problem for the team. And this is another pointer that if it works this way, Victor Boniface ups his game. I mean, Nigeria is going to be the biggest beneficiary.
Oh, well, interesting part when you say Nigeria will be the biggest beneficiary, and I dare want to agree with you on that because, again, former Nigerian international Silvanus Opala has also spoken on the Boniface issue, and of course, he's urging him to focus on scoring for the Eagles. Interestingly, Opala issued a pointed suggestion to Super Eagles striker Victor Boniface, emphasizing the need for him to start finding the back of the net for the national team, despite a successive goal-scoring run with Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. Boniface has struggled to replicate that form on the international stage. Well, of course, Opala, speaking to journalists, stressed the importance of goal-scoring for centre-forwards and, of course, urging Boniface to not only aim for goals, but also to assist teammates when necessary. Do you think this call is another concern for Victor Boniface because he's not been scoring, even though he also did not have a good one at the recent qualifiers.
Well, I mean, it's part of what you get when your output is low.
Yeah.
Even at your place of work, if you're not really delivering, then everybody will be on you. So he's really not delivering for the Super Eagles. That's the truth. And ex-players are in the best position to talk to him, tell him to actually focus. This is like a father to his son conversation. So yes, I think he should take it serious. But then again, I will also, while taking it serious, you should also know that you don't have to let it pressure you. Because it isn't coming, you can't kill yourself. Sometimes you don't even have to score. Your contribution to the team really matters. If you remember the last Nations Cup we won in 2013, one player was amazing. He really didn't score as much as every other person.
Right.
Brown Ideye.
Right.
He was everywhere. He was a bull. He was like the heart of the attack. Why Emenike keeps getting the goals. So sometimes the goals might not come. Victor Osimhen got just only one goal in the last Nations Cup.
But
we saw his impact. That's exactly what you're saying. So it's really not about the goals most times. Why people are actually complaining is that he's really not been effective. That's what it is. And
of course, the fact that Silvano Sokpala did make mention of this, it goes to say that quite a number of persons have really been watching his input in the national team, and some persons are saying he's even bigger and better on the social media than the goal scoring.
Yeah,
but then we're hoping that he would be getting the goals in the nearer days. Let's move to another story quickly. Dele-Bashiru injects energy into Lazio's squad. Now this is coming from the Lazio's head coach. I'm talking about Baroni. He's extolled the contribution of Dele-Bashiru, highlighting the young midfielder's remarkable energy and influence on the team's dynamic. Since joining from Manchester City, Bashiru has quickly established himself as a key figure in Lazio's midfield, bringing both vigor and creativity to the pitch. Dele-Bashiru, Ike, you also share the opinion of his coach?
Yeah, I think he's still actually developing his game.
Yeah.
He's giving us one or two good occasions as a Super Eagles player, but his last performance, maybe because he's really not played with the rest of the team, but then I was expecting him to be the star in that team, ahead of the likes of Rafa Onyedika, because he's really played more recently with the team compared to Rafa.
But do they play of the same role? I don't think
so. No, they don't. But I mean, in the middle of the park, they actually play together. So I was expecting him to bring in the spark as an attacking.
But if you ask me honestly, I think he's more visible in that team than an Alex Iwobi.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so that argument we'll be having.
We saw the last game.
My take about Iwobi.
Even on Iwobi's worst days.
Wait now. Maybe it's just me, right?
Wait, even on Iwobi's worst day as a player, he won't play that thing.
Do you know Dele-Bashiru?
That thing Dele-Bashiru played against
Dele-Bashiru.
What's this? Rwanda, the Mavubi.
Dele-Bashiru.
He won't.
Okay, so the Amavubi game for me was more like.
That's what I'm saying.
But
we've had that sort of games that it will be played.
But Dele-Bashiru, as far as his presence is concerned and his physicality in the game, he's almost everywhere. Unlike when he
was also everywhere against the Amavubis.
So my point is.
But he was everywhere like he was nowhere.
I also think Alex Iwobi is not also present in the Super Eagles.
So Alex Iwobi's last game.
In terms of both creativity and of course, that's what he's.
No, he's way better than Bashiru when it comes to creativity. He's our biggest, in fact, he's our most creative player. The problem,
unfortunately, he's not being creative.
No, let me tell you now.
Unfortunately.
Let me tell you something now. The problem with Alex Iwobi for the Super Eagles is that the both managers we've had like to play him deep. The reason why they like to play him deep is because he's calm. He's got a good range of pass, better than anybody in that middle. So they prefer to place him behind while the rest actually rove around him. Okay. Pasero did it, we complained. The last game against Benin Republic, he had to play behind Wilfred and Didi. Why? But he doesn't play so in Fulham, and we see his spark there.
Anyways, again, this is another conversation that a whole lot of football-loving Nigerians will want to say. Alex Iwobi hasn't really been as visible as we would expect.
Visible, we agree, but not compared to Dele-Bashiru.
But I think if Dele-Bashiru should get more game time.
If Dele-Bashiru play,
game time,
if a coach
more game time than Alex Iwobi, he will do far better.
That's what I'm saying. If a coach play Dele-Bashiru behind the way they play Alex Iwobi behind, you beg Dele-Bashiru to hang his boots and stop playing football.
Behind
a defensive midfielder.
Okay, that's not even his role, anyways.
That's what I'm saying. So you don't, for a player that plays as an attacking or a central midfielder.
We've seen Alex Iwobi play behind the striker, and he's still not delivering the goals.
That's what I'm saying. For the Super Eagles. Yes, that's the Super Eagles. I mean, the coach system is the issue here.
Okay.
If Dele-Bashiru, that's what I'm saying, in the Super Eagles setup, bring Dele-Bashiru, okay, fine, let's wait for him to play more games, because it seems like I'm condemning him at this point. So I don't want to say anything here, don't worry. He's going to play more games for the Super Eagles. We'll come back to this conversation.
Let's talk about another Super Eagle player, and I'm talking about Omar Sadiq of Real Sociedad, who has presently is asking for an increased playing time. He's expressed his desire for more playing time as he looks to make a greater impact on the team this season, despite joining the club with high expectation. Sadiq has found opportunities limited as he competes for a starting lineup. Sadiq Umar, lanky player, maybe not so physical. Do you think that in any way he would maybe, just maybe, be getting more game time if he improves his play?
It's all about really improving his play. Yes, I understand that part of improve your play and get playing time. The question is behind Carlos Bacca and Oyarzabal. These guys are way, bigger than him.
And of course, their form is
yes, Oyarzabal is like, how will I explain? Okay, this guy is like a figure, not just for rest to say that, but for the national team.
True.
So it's difficult in his home country. It's difficult to actually, see. I'm not saying he's got the quality and they are playing him behind. I think Oyarzabal is way better than him. Okay. But I'm just saying at this point, for me, I would advise him to actually move on.
All right. If Sadiq Umar is listening to Ikechukwu today, well, maybe all you need to do is put in more efforts, and you might be getting some good game time. But let's move from there to another story. And of course, we're talking about Enyimba's fall to Al Masry of Egypt in the CAF Confederations Cup. Interestingly, Enyimba did lose yesterday 1-0 in a tightly contested match that could have significant implication for their campaign. Despite a spirited effort, Enyimba's inability to capitalize on scoring chances proved costly. I mean, the Confederations Cup is a tournament you don't go losing a game. It might just end your campaign. What do you think? Well,
sadly, Enyimba lost that game. They tried. After the first goal came in, they step up a bit. Trying to get the second. Trying to get an equalizer, but then they considered another one via the same guy, Muhammad, who actually got a brace in that particular game. But the problem here is actually not, losing a game. It's actually, the form of Enyimba at this point. Enyimba has failed to, just like Manchester City, they failed to win, in the last 5 games. So they're actually struggling with form. In Nigerian Professional Football League, their form is actually bad, going to this Continental Championship. And their next game in this particular tournament is against Zamalek of Egypt.
Okay.
And they say, Egyptian you see today, shall see them no more. This one is coming again. This one is coming to him. So maybe Enyimba might just get it right in Aba to build confidence. And they've got, good set of boys. But again, every team experience decline. So maybe it's just their time.
All right, let's move from the CAF Confederations Cup game to the NPFL games that did happen yesterday. Remo Stars reclaimed top spots as Ikorodu City remains unbeaten in an exhilarating March day of the Nigerian Premier Football League. Remo Stars have surged back to the top of the table as, of course, after getting a resounding victory over Shooting Stars 2-0, it ended in the Southwest Derby in Ikenne. And of course, Ikorodu City continues to maintain an unbeaten record, showcasing resilience and tactical prowess in their recent fixtures. Well, I'm going to just run through some of those games as well. Okay, Nasarawa United manager is carefully talking about their loss to Insurance of Benin. And he's saying, hey, don't beat yourself too hard. But of course, he did criticize the ball boys for contributing to that loss against against Insurance. Well, from there on, let's move to another NPFL story where Rivers United's Finidi George reflects on, of course, the draw against Sunshine Stars. You would recall that they played a 1-1 draw against Sunshine Stars in the Nigerian Premier League game. And, well, for me, that game was a major, major one. But, of course, from there on, let's move to Heartland. Heartland also, they are seeking redemption against Kwara United. NPFL roundup. Let's start from the game that I did mention, the Rivers United draw against Sunshine Stars.
Well, Rivers United were the table toppers before this game. Going into this particular game,
yes.
Remo Stars was closely following from behind, just 1 point. And, you know, we're expecting Rivers United to actually, you know, manage to get the result, but it was difficult for them. And Sunshine Stars is actually not a small team in the league.
Yeah.
So, a draw, considering that they were playing away from home, a draw was actually fair. You know, it's actually a fair result because of how difficult it is to actually win away from home in the Nigerian Professional Football League. And it's a very good one. They have to just you know, pick their bags and then look forward to their next game, which is most likely going to be at home.
The Southwest Derby, Shooting Stars, Remo Stars. It ended 2-0.
Yes, in Ikene it ended 2-0, and as expected, you know, home side and the form of Remo Stars. Remo Stars.
I was going to say as expected. What do you mean by that?
Yes.
But then Remo Stars, like you were
Remo Stars
in the form of their life.
I mean, absolutely, they are the most informed team. Even before, you know, going top after that particular game.
Yes.
They've been showing consistency. They've shown that we want this so bad, but it's still very much match day 14, going to match day 15, and we don't know how much, you know, of an impact or how well they can actually hold on to the, you know, to the league. Hold on to winning games to the end of the league.
Right. But as it stands, let's just move away from there. And, of course, let's let you know from the NPFL, we're talking another Nigerian team. And, of course, we're talking about the females, the Super Falcons of Nigeria that have arrived France for that high-stake game against the Blues of France. IK, expectation of that game?
I just want to see how well we can play as a team. I just want the girls to enjoy the game. I mean, there's nothing at stake. If possible, just avoid injuries. This sort of game is where you test, you know, the tactics of the team. This sort of game is where you see, you know, who can actually play this sort of formation at this time.
Do you think Justin Madugu can take this Super Falcons to the El Dorado of football, both in Africa? I mean, Africa is conquered already. The world.
Well, I mean, it's still, it's this sort of games that will show us what it's got tactically.
Okay.
You know, when you play against these powerhouses, you play against big teams like France, you know, Brazil, the United States of America, Canada, how much of a fluidity you have in your tank as a manager, we're going to see it. You don't have to win all of the games. But let's see that glimmer that, okay, this guy's got it. This guy can actually change something with just one substitution. So these are the sort of things we want to see, it's not about just winning these games. Because if you win these games by any means, and then we don't see, you know, the tactical input in it, it's for me, it has no value. All
right, let's move from the Super Falcons to the Flamingos, who, of course, Nigeria's Flamingos are set to compete in the WAFU B under 17 championship in Ghana, aiming for their first title in this prestigious tournament. The team will face tough opponents, and of course that includes Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, and Benin Republic, as they look to make a mark in the competition. Under 17, the Flamingos, hopeful, or let them just go and play the 3 points and return?
Well, you know, when it comes to female football in Africa, I don't really have issues. I can go to bed. The Super Falcons, the Flamingos, whatever category. I really don't. I don't. But for the Flamingos, I have a soft spot for them because you know, a friend of mine was once the media officer of these Flamingos, the one that was, I think, in 2017, back in 2017. So anytime I hear the Flamingos, there's this soft spot I have for them. It's a breeding ground for the Super Falcons.
Yeah.
They're still quite young girls.
Yeah.
So, yes, it's good for them to win so that we can actually see, you know, those that will replace the likes of Asisa Oshoala and, you know, every other, you know, big names.
But the opponents, Cote d'Ivoire, Burkina Faso, Benin Republic.
It's not male football.
Okay.
So if you call these names, you are looking at it from male. Nah, they're female. Our girls will definitely deal with them.
Okay, all right. I like the optimism. It's actually a beautiful one. Let's move from there on. Of course, return back to male football, where we hear that Super Eagles defender Seydou Sanusi is of course back, and we hear that he might be playing for his club side Anderlecht today. And that also looks like a plus for the Nigerian Super Eagles team, don't you think so? Seydou Sanusi return.
Yes, Seydou Sanusi is a quality player. He's a very good player, and it's good to see him back. Of course, he kind of is this player that gets carried away once in a while. It just reminds me of the Brazilian centre-back, former Brazilian centre-back in Lucio, who gets carried away once in a while, but he's got the quality. You cannot take it away from him. It's good to have him back. That's another depth for the Super Eagles squad.
All right, let's look at another award-winning player. Kayode of Nigeria wins Golden Boy Award because of our time for Best Young Player in Italy. Does this resonate with you as something very, very remarkable for a young player like Nigerian forward Kayode winning this?
It's a good one. I mean, it also brings spotlight back to the country he's from. Just like Victor Boniface, who won the Rookie of the Year award in Germany last year. It's similar to this. So yes, this sort of awards inspire younger talents, people who are actually looking up to become big stars tomorrow. And for him, who won the award, he knows this is just the beginning of his career, because at this point, a lot of expectations, like they say, to whom much is given, much is expected. A lot of expectation. They want to see him as the best player in Syria someday.
Lamine Yamal wins Golden Boy Award.
Absolutely, he's shown that he's got a lot of trickery in his bag. I mean, that guy at 17,
Lamine Yamal,
he's doing so well, so.
Sometimes I just look at that young guy, I just say, come on now, they calm down.
The boy is good.
Yamin Lamal, Ander Gula, these are youngsters that when you look at their future.
Not to forget that La Masia made Lamine.
Oh, yes.
Exactly what I was saying.
Very true. All right, still talking about CAF Award. Hakimi is targeting African Football of the Year ahead of Ademola Lookman. You think that is going to happen?
Making Contifana. Being carry gun.
Oh, my God. Wait, you mean he doesn't stand a chance? Hakimi.
Like, how did he made it to the top 3 ahead of True Second? I don't even want to have the conversation. Like, this is the award for 2023-2024 season. We got to the final in Nations Cup. True Second was the best player, right? And he scored a couple of goals in that tournament.
Yeah.
So how come, what did Hakimi do in the last 12 years?
No verse.
Hakimi,
forgive him, yeah? All right, we'll just take a quick break right now. When we return, we'll be talking about the Champions League and, of course, the Europa League and Conference League that will be going on tonight. All of these and more. Liverpool breaks Madrid's course with thrilling victory. We'll be right back after this. Stay with us. Welcome back. Before that break, I did say it was going to be a short one, and yes, we're coming straight to the Champions League. Games were played yesterday, and if our producers are ready, let's have the results of the games that were played yesterday. The one that is outstanding for quite a lot of players, and of course, football-loving fans, is the one that you would say Arne Slot is the man to beat right now. Liverpool's Arne Slot doing the unthinkable, according to some persons, defeating the Galacticos, Real Madrid, by 2-0. Did you see that coming?
Well, I'm not going to say I saw that coming, but I know that Real Madrid will find it very difficult to crack Liverpool right there at the Anfield. That's I'm very.
There you have it. There you have it on the screen. These are the results of games that were played yesterday. Red Star Belgrade, interestingly, defeated Stuttgart 5-1. Sturmgrass defeated Girona. That for me was another result that you would just not think it would happen. It ended 1-0 in favor of Sturmgrass. And of course, Aston Villa and Juventus played a goalless draw, while Lille Oslo defeated Bologna 2-1. Of course, Lille going away from France to Italy, getting that result. Celtic played a 1-1 draw with Franco Onyedika's Club Rouge. Interestingly, Dortmund went away to Dynamo Zagreb to defeat them 3-0. It ended in favor of Borussia Dortmund. And the one we're talking about, Liverpool defeating Real Madrid 2-0. Monaco were defeated at home by Benfica 3-2. And PSV, interestingly, squashed Shakhtar Donetsk 3-2. Well, this result, there you have it. For me, sometimes when you look at this result, you want to ask, Champions League can be very unpredictable. Was these something that bookmakers ever saw would happen in the world of football?
Well, bookmakers will only write books. They don't go on the field to play. So form has nothing to do with how well you write. You know, some of these teams, the result that got me was that the very first one, talking about Red Star Belgrade against Stuttgart.
Yeah.
That particular result, I mean, I'm not expecting Stuttgart to win because they are not the Stuttgart I used to know.
Yes.
But even if you have to lose, not 5. Right.
So one thing happened to me when I was, you know, so I was following that game. I was still at the office at the time. I was following that game and the results, and I was seeing the goals coming. In my head, I'm like, wait, how is this even happening? So sometimes, right, just like you said, bookmakers will always just, you know, predict. They're not the ones on the page. But do you see this coming?
Well, Red Star is at home.
Yes.
They are in a very good shape, very good shape. You know, even though they are not a top team, even though they are not a team at the level of Stuttgart,
Yeah.
but they are a very top team. It happened to Manchester City when they played Sporting Lisbon, until Arsenal taught them football lesson.
Yeah.
You going into that game, no one's expected Man City to lose 4-1 against Sporting, even if they are playing away from home.
Sure.
But when a team is at home and in a very good shape, it's difficult to play them. And especially when the team going there is not in good shape.
Okay.
So this is football. It happens all of the time.
Well, again, it happens all the time. One of the reasons why Jude Bellingham did say we weren't good enough against Liverpool. You also share that opinion?
Liverpool, Real Madrid actually tried to give a good account of themselves, but the problem they had was a disconnect between the attack and the midfield. Or rather, the attack wasn't really moving. Mbappe failed to actually move as an attacker.
Did you think that was the issue of the attackers and midfielders, or Arne Slot tactically locking up that midfield?
Nah.
He just have a way of doing it, don't you think so?
Arne Slot, I give him, you know, his flowers. He's actually a very good man.
Yeah.
He's a very good coach. I saw his tactics. Don Carlo Ancelotti is no small meat.
Yes.
He understands how to play this game. I mean, playing against Liverpool is not his first time. He's played Liverpool twice in the final of the Champions League with AC Milan. So he understands Liverpool to an extent. He knows the approach is never going to be 100% different from how they play, irrespective of the manager. He went into that game with, you know, Luka Modric, Eduardo Camavinga, and Jude Bellingham in the middle of the park. Now, that game, and NSO Valverde, sorry, Federico Valverde, I meant.
Yeah.
Now, they went into that game, they tried to soak up, you know, Liverpool, because these guys are different quality players. If it were Vini in that game, this is where I was going. If it were Vini in place of Mbappe in that game, Vini will continue to push the Liverpool defense line back.
Okay.
Every single time the ball gets to Kylian, and he's been chased by the young Conor Bradley, I expect him to push this guy through the byline all of the time. But what he does is he cuts inside. And there's something about Vini. If Vini gets the ball here, Vini will take you down to the byline all of the time. And when you keep doing that to a defender, he gets frustrated. It's like either kicking or making mistakes.
Oh, well.
And if the attack is actually pushing, it's going to make the midfielder settle.
Well, again, I dare say that, yes, Liverpool did come to the party.
Very well.
And they looked like, you know, the team that needed that victory
the most.
In fact, I dare say Liverpool right now, authoritatively, are the first team to have made it to the round of 16. And that, for me, is an achievement Arne Slot and his team have fought so well to, achieve. Let's move from there on, and of course, let's talk about Aston Villa. Unai Emery yesterday, he felt he had, that victory against Juventus when Morgan Rogers' stoppage time goal was thwarted, as of course was disallowed by a foul after a foul on goalkeeper Michele De Gregorio of Juventus. Now, one thing happened in that game. That goal, saw Villa fans all celebrating, and they felt stoppage time goal. We've gotten the victory. But of course, VAR comes.
Football. It happened to the Super Eagles. That particular incident reminded me of what happened to the Super Eagles when we lost about 3 Nigerians in that South African game in the Nations Cup.
Oh, yes.
We scored, and then it was called back, and a penalty was awarded to South Africans, and then they scored.
Yeah.
You remember that incident? That was a very swift moment in football. So football, crazy things happens. It's one of those things, and that's one of the value that the VAR is bringing. Fairness in the game.
All right, let's get to the Europa League almost immediately. If our producers are ready, let's have the fixtures of the Europa League. One that strikes very, very important is the Manchester United game against Bodo Glimt at Old Trafford. I tell you, that game, you don't want anybody to tell you. All right, this is about it. AZ Alkmaar will be taking on Galatasaray. We're hoping that our very own, the Starboy himself, will be performing in this one. Karabakh, of course, will be hosting Lyon. Dynamo Kiev will be hosting Victoria Pleasant. Elberg will be going away to Atletico Club. And of course, Anderlecht, yes, that one we told you earlier about. Seydou Sanusi will be taking on FC Porto. Lazio, yes, with Dele-Bashiru will be taking on Ludogorets. And of course, RFS of, I think Greece now, yes, will be taking on PAOK Salonika. Well, Besiktas will be hosting Maccabi Tel Aviv. And the game I told you just a couple of seconds ago, Manchester United will be at home at Old Trafford to Bodo Glimt. Braga, yes, will be taking on Hoffenheim. And there are still some games. I don't know if our producers will be taking us in those, the remaining games of the Europa League. But, Ike, Manchester United, Bodo Glimt?
Manchester United should win that game. Old Trafford, and Ruben Amorim will want to use this as a starter, and of course for the players they will want to give a very good account of themselves so that they'll be in the manager's good book, so they would, yes, for regular playing time and also to get the result right, so that at this point his first game was a draw, so he wants to win a game so that the trust will start coming in.
Yeah.
So a new manager comes in.
The first game he didn't have enough, players because of the international break to train with. So he played the people that he trained with in first team.
Well, I mean, I don't think there's really going to be any change, in the lineup. Maybe perhaps few, but I'm saying that he needs this victory to start boosting confidence. The players will start believing in the manager will start believing in the players. The fans will rally around the team, because winning, there's something victory does. It injects a certain level of confidence across board. And when the team is in a good spirit, in a good shape, trust me.
All right, there you have it. Tottenham will be, this is straight win. I'm sorry to Roma fans. This is straight win for Tottenham against Roma. Nice will be playing Rangers. And of course, Ajax will be going away to Real Sociedad. Omar Sadiq, we hope he gets a game time in that one. FCSB will be taking on Olympiacos. Ferencváros will be taking on Malmo. 20, yes, will be hosting Union Saint-Gilloise. And of course, Slavia Prague will be hosting Fenerbahce. Interestingly, Midtjylland will be hosting Eintracht Frankfurt. Those are the games for the Europa. If our producers are ready, let's have that of the Conference League. Because of our time, we just have to rush Conference League. If we have it, let's go through that. The Conference League fixtures for tonight. But in absence of that, I don't know if yes. I think we definitely out of time. We got to go. There we go. Conference League, Astana, interesting. Victoria Pleasant. This about it. We cannot overemphasize. Thank you so much for being here. Final words, Ikechukwu, for being here.
Yes, it's almost the weekend, so yes. Thank you for having me, David.
The fact that he's always saying it's almost the weekend, I know where you're going. Don't worry. We gotta go, Ikechukwu. Thank you so much for being here. All right, to everyone who made this production possible, all of the guys at the back, the producer of the show, Ikechukwu, yes, Ikechukwu, and of course, Director Shegun and Samuel on the ingest. The sound is Paul. The ladies at the back, I'm talking about Rose, I'm talking about Amarachi, and of course, Chioma. All of you guys are amazing. And to you out there that made this production possible, we want to say thank you, thank you. And for you out there that took your time to see us, we appreciate you. Without you, we can't be here. We gotta go. Have an amazing day ahead. Don't forget to always pray for Nigeria. There is no great nation like ours. Have a great day ahead. God bless Nigeria.